Everybody, good morning. All my channel members, like Lieutenant Colonel Goose, thank you, sir. Craig, Don, Will, Ivan, Svenborn, Gary, Rob, Hugh, Frank, Jerry, Dan, Logan, Ted, Skaggs, glad to have you. Darren, Ed, Steven, Kevin, Terry, Kay. Looks like we got Scott, Nancy, Diane, B, Ted, Cliff, Bike, Bike Trash. Nice, nice name. Wrongimer, Darren. Yeah, hey everybody. Glad to have you this morning. Sledge, Captain Sledge, good to see you. Gaten, Key, I'm glad to see everybody. I still feel poorly. And it's all right here. Like it's like my face just feels swollen. I don't know what's getting me, but wish I could get over it. I was so Saturday, I was outside washing my truck. Yeah, wrong of a shock. I washed my truck. This is the second time I've washed it since I had it. The first time I washed it was before I put the wrap on it, and this is the second time I've washed it. And like something broke me out in like this stingy, like burning, stinging rash. And it wasn't from washing the truck. It was like inside my shirt, and then my nose started running really bad, and some kind of pollen or something got on me, and it, you know, I went inside and washed off, and like then I had these welts that hung out till the next day, and whatever it is, it got me. I don't know if it's I'm allergic to oak pollen, mold, mildew. So, and when I was young, it was really bad. Like there was never like I was sick all year. There was never like a get better period, and took allergy shots for like 8 years, I think it was. Now I get this for a couple times here and there throughout the year. Maybe one day. We'll see. Anyway, so how am I doing this year? Not bad. Now this was the 50K challenge account right here. I open it up. I'm not just fluffing, not hiding trades because they're all here. Like this is not like a track record. This is verified stuff here. This downloads the trades from my Robinhood account and verifies them. So there's no funny business here. There's no hiding trades. This is 100% win rate. I've made basically $3,789 in the last couple months. It's just over a month. It's like a month and 2 weeks. You look at the 1 month, we're down to 2,677 because of the way it groups the trades. We look at the profit graph, and nice, just kind of steady growing. Look at it over 3 months. See, we just started this challenge in April. And look at the year. I wasn't using this account for anything. This is an account I had that I just left for dead. If we look at the all-time, I did use it back here before COVID, or right around COVID, and I just kind of left this account sitting there. So now, doing my 50K challenge, and if you're unfamiliar with what that means, I'm trying to get this 1 month number. Go back. I'm trying to get the 1 month number to consistently be 50K, the 3 month number to be at least 150K, and then the 6 month number would be 300K. So I can prove that I can make $50,000 a month for at least 6 months straight in a reliable, consistent manner trading the market. Now, is this going to happen this week? Nope. Next month? Nope, probably not. It's probably going to take me 4 or 5 years to get this account built up. So I'm going to be talking about this for a little while. If you want to see what I've got open, be a channel member. I post that. I've been trying to post it daily based on the feedback you all gave me that you like to see what I got open, what my open orders and stuff. So I've been posting my open orders daily in there. They're not trade alerts. If you want to know every single twist and turn as I do it, I reserve that for my Turnmeyer Trading Lab group. This is a whole portfolio management. It's like, what am I doing? How am I managing the cash? How am I, all my inner thoughts on it. I share that with my Turnmeyer Trading Lab group inside Discord. So There you go. There you go. Welcome to the show. GDP numbers coming out this morning. Yesterday we had NVDA earnings, and that came in pretty hot and spicy. Caused this big rip. I was getting messages late last night. Oh, you're wrong. The freight train's running away. You missed it. You don't understand. And, well, maybe something different happens. NVIDIA did pop here and is up here, pre-markets. But when we look at the NASDAQ, already giving back that tail. Already came off the highs. We're not down into yesterday's range yet. We are on ES, which is S&P 500. ES is already back in yesterday's range. High from yesterday, the low from yesterday, that was a big three-wave move with a little bit of volatility in there and went on to make a higher high. Now, is this going to be the down? Like, we did make a higher high than we made back over here. So this is now the starting point for the potential decline on the S&P 500 futures. We'll see how this plays out with the cash index when the cash opens here in a few minutes. So it'll probably pop back up here, maybe even make a new high. That was another three-wave move down. Didn't quite. I mean, look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It probably will make a higher high. Right there. Before we potentially take another move down. We'll see what we got. And this higher high could take us all the way up here. Because that's where we are on ES, which is S&P 500 futures. So that's NVIDIA earnings did take us higher, but now that's not taking the market higher this morning. Look at it this week. We had GDP come out. Preliminary. It's funny. This was, I guess it was, not really red yesterday, but they colored it red. Quarter over quarter, down. And we'll have to look somewhere else for the year over year. Unemployment claims came in a little hot. That's nothing. I mean, we can think about it. When you got 300 million people, working age people, I don't know, whatever, it's 200, I guess it's 220 million working age people out there. And probably 180 million of them actually have jobs. We have 180 million people. There's bound to be 200,000 idiots that get fired every week. I mean, it's just, historically, we usually had like 300,000 to 500,000. That's just, when we go look back in here years ago, like this typically ran a little hotter. Right back when we go through a big pullback, but back here, 300,000. That's 300,000 to 500,000. That's typically what we did. And for some reason, we've pushed it. We wanted the numbers to be better, so we changed what an unemployed person looks like, and we pushed these numbers down below 250,000. And then COVID happened, and then now we're getting back down into the 200,000s again. So typically, there's 200,000 idiots that get fired and go file unemployment every week. I mean, that's just. So I don't really, the trend is what we really got to watch. Like when we start breaking above 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, that's usually when there's a problem showing up. So right now, unemployment not really showing it, or unemployment claims not really showing much. That's why I don't really pay much lip service to it each week. So preliminary GDP Q over Q 3.7. Let's go see on the calendar. Not gonna load it up. Awesome. I don't know what they did with TradingView lately, but it needs to be reloaded a lot. Used to, reload it a couple times. Let's see. We need not earnings, but we need economic data. Looking for... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? GDP, GDP. Jobless claims, GDP, Q over Q, Q over Q, Q over Q. They don't have a year over year. Nice. I was hoping to get the year over year number. Doesn't look like they have it on here. Continuing jobless claims, 1.9. Core 3.4. Yeah. Oh, well. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. I make predictions. Sometimes they come true. Sometimes they don't. So past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. You might lose money. If you want somebody to tell you what to do, you need some personal financial advice, what to trade, how to trade, when to trade, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. I'm just a dude throwing out some ideas all the time. Even if you buy trade alerts, they're just ideas. Like, you got to make that your own idea. Like, that's the only way you're going to be successful at trading, is to figure out how to make the trading ideas your own ideas. And believe them and trade them. Make your own decisions. If you got to follow somebody for the entry and the exit and all this stuff, you're doomed to have trouble. I was there for a lot of years. It's not just me saying this. I learned this lesson. All right, this is a little bit of truth bomb, I guess you might say. You've got to be able to make your own trading decisions. I trade the same patterns. They're a high probability pattern. For years, I thought I just needed to learn more and more stuff. I just need to know how to use all those indicators. You need to use all those, things. There's just some kind of magic something out there in the market that, I just haven't learned yet. It's going to unlock all of it for me. Sound familiar? This is a very common thought that a lot of people have, especially smarter people, doctors, lawyers, engineers, people that are, have knowledge jobs there's just some unsaid knowledge that I just have to figure out in the market. I just have to learn. And then it's all going to magically come to me. I wish. The big eye-opening thing for me was learning Elliott wave theory. But then, as I say to my trading lab group all the time, they're like, "Oh, so I've got to learn Elliott wave theory." I'm like, so here's the thing about Elliott wave theory. It took me 4 years. It took me about 6 months to really learn the basics. I had it down. It took me 4 years to be able to predict the charts like I do and get it right. There's a lot of nuance in there. Now, you can spend that time doing that so you can be an analyst. That's kind of what I do. I analyze charts and tell y'all what I think. Or you can just take some of my high probability patterns that I figured out based on this stuff and be a trader and cut out all the extra stuff. Now, it helps to hang out with somebody that's an analyst like me. I have lots of analyst friends that I talk to all the time. And that kind of helps you figure out what might be coming next in the market. That's a 5 up right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lower high. Ambiguous. That's ambiguous. See, this one made a higher high. Now it's back down here. It has mucked up the difference between the charts. So S&P 500 cash chart and the futures chart will come back into alignment sometime here. And the point of my whole story, you can either spend time learning how to predict every next stock move And you're going to be a pretty good analyst, but that doesn't help you be a better trader. Believe me, I know. You've got to have got to have the ability to figure out where the good trades are. That's how trading works. I spent a lot of time honing it out, figuring out the high probability patterns. Oh, look at that. It's my new BTFD strategy. Interesting. All right. If you wonder what that is, Premarket Trading Lab group has access to that. I built that strategy over the weekend on all my free time, even though I wasn't feeling great. So, now, as I've said a lot, you can spend time spreading about, in fact, I got a question on YouTube this morning. It was like, hey, you've got this big bold prediction below 4,000 before you would go above 7. How are you trading that right now? It's like, so that prediction's like not today. Like we're not going below 4,000 before we go above 7,000 today. It's probably not even next week, probably not next month. It's possible through the end of the year we go up to 6,600 if we continue this bullish setup here. Things are looking pretty bullish. If we continue that, we're probably going to go on up here through the end of the year, maybe even into next year. It'd be very possible. Maybe we don't go up there till sometime out here. Very, very possible. So why would I trade for the downside right now when that might not happen for a while? All right, it's kind of like, what's the immediate thing I think is going to happen? Right now, I'm just kind of waiting for clarity on the immediate pullback that we have set up in the chart. We have a potential setup. We did just make a higher high, so we moved all this stuff over here, this higher high, and we're likely to do this pullback right here. Now, when is that going to happen? Possibly in June. It might not. We're running out of days in May here very quickly. So probably not going to happen unless we do it today or tomorrow. Probably not going to get down here that fast. Like that, even over here, we didn't go down that fast. Like, it took us a few days to go down that kind of size of a move. So set your expectation here. We're not flushing down below 4,000 before for the summer. This is not a short-term situation. So, and this is, I'm going to show you this other thing that kind of lines up with 2026 that makes me, this definitely sticks in my mind right here. Like, look at this thing. This was made in 1875, all right? This kind of blows my mind a little bit when 2026 right here. These B years right here, B years, years of good times, high prices, and time to sell stocks. We might go on up into next year. Right there. This is hard times, low prices. 2022, right into the beginning of 2023, that's where we bottomed. This is probably where we're going to top into next year. I haven't figured out if these are more toward the beginning of the year, or the end of the year, or the middle of the year. I don't know. Just look at the year, though. This lines up with going up. Now, that top we make, probably going to be the top well into, we're looking at like 6 years of down off of that. Then we're going to have a pretty swift up. 2034, 2035, 2-3 years. Back up to the top. And then we're probably going to go down again. So this could be that, when I talk about that lost decade, maybe 2, could be this chop right here. Might not be able to pull out a new high on the S&P until well into the 2050s. I don't know. Look at that, though. 2053, 2053. Both those line up. And look at that, 1927. Lined up with the Great Depression. kind of what we got going on here. It's kind of wild, right? Like that Greater Depression might not be now, it may be out here in 2030s when we actually coin that phrase. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Been wrong before. We'll see. Have you tried local honey? Yeah, it's being allergic to this is severe allergies. So it's not like, have you tried local honey? Yeah, I've tried local honey. Yeah. I take a Claritin, a Zyrtec, and Flonase every day of my life just to not be like this most of the year. So it's not like some little magic thing's gonna happen. I have pretty wicked allergies. Anyway, I thank you all for your ideas, though. All right. How do we make money today, right? That's the big question. How do we make money today? So let's dive in, take a look, see where we're at. We've got the NASDAQ pushing up overnight, banging our head right on the 1272, 1448. It was a distinct possibility, and we got it. So be careful now. This can be the new high that we've got in place. Pull that over. Now, could we go break on out? Sure. I did speculate a few days ago that we might need to retest this downtrend of highs before we can go on the bigger correction. I mentioned that. Looking at the ES, let's kind of remove some stuff out of here, clean it up, see what we got. Try to make this a little more clear. Pull that over to that high. So at this point, we did a big three-wave move up. The first move was very fast. But we didn't hit that 1272 yet. It's the craziest freaking thing. I speculated that maybe we needed to touch that right there before it could be done on the upside. Now, over here on the cash index, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. We're right in the vicinity. Came up just a few points shy. Just a few points shy. It's like, do we need to pop up and hit that? Or was this close enough? Close enough? Or do we need to hit it before we can take a trip down? This right now has a 1-2 potential setup to go down. As long as we maintain a lower high, game on for going down. At least for a third leg down, if not developing something bigger. So right now we've got one move down, we got one move up. The next move down put us right in this vicinity. In the coming days, possibly into first week of June. Maybe second week of June. Yeah, somewhere in this first couple weeks, probably do that move. And we may get a bounce back up in this area. So we could come down here, do some sort of bounce, take us out later in June, maybe out into my birthday time, and then do something bigger on down into July, August. That's what this is what it looks like we're doing for the summer. Right there. That's what it looks like we're doing. Seasonality wise, let's check in with that. See what we got. Let's see, volatility, seasonality. And check this out. So typically, as we go into May, we're rallying. That right there. Volatility is kind of flat, and then as we get to the second week of June, that kind of lines up, right? Then flushing on down, and then we find a bottom and start going higher. It's just, this is 20 years of market cycle. Let's just look at a volatility in the S&P 500. So, kind of wild. Usually we see a volatility spike mid to end of June, and then get the all clear and start rallying higher toward the end of July. And then, so this could be, maybe we do that first dip, we get a rally back up, and then we do the bigger dip. Interesting. Let's see. S&P 500 seasonality. That's volatility again. There we go. Make it bigger, sure thing. So usually, this is 20 years. It's not as current. I need to find a new one. Said this one's a couple years old, but 20 years of history kind of summed up into what we usually do. Bottom out in May, rally in June. It's funny. It looks kind of counterintuitive to the VIX. Slightly at odds with the VIX. And then the NASDAQ composites. Here we go. Choppy. Sell in May, go away, chop, and then catch the July pop. So the next month or so may be kind of choppy in the market. And that's not all that indifferent than what, not super indifferent from what we got potentially set up here. Could be down here by July and then make a bottom and take off. This could be what we do for the next month or so. Then we get that all clear. You can let me know what you think in the chat. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, my favorite channel subscriber is Kimberly. She's not actually a channel member. It's funny. She's like, she tell everybody, you don't even make me a channel member. It's like YouTube doesn't let me just comp people channel memberships. It costs money, so it's funny. Anyway. Dun, dun, dun. Moving on. Russell, look at that. That is a danger candle right there. Holy shnikes. 1, 2, 3. Lower high. This might get wild. If you don't have one of those 180, 150 IWMs, buy the 180. Buy the 180. Sell the 150. Out to September. If you don't have one of those, think about it. I mean, could you do 190? Something else? 150? Yeah, sure. I mean, you can do whatever you want to. I bought a 180 put, sold a 150 put, out to September. SEPT. Looking for this thing to take a hit. I think it's gonna get spicy. Spicy on the downside. This is the kind of setup right here that can do something big and fast. If we get a big fast, I would book that profit out if you do that 180, 150. Oil coming back around. Take a look. Do you believe in magic? It's just not doing jack diddly squat. Look at that. 5 days in a row. Red, green, red, green, red, green. That's about as much indecision as you can get. No clear path. This is, hate to say it, but that looks like we're going to go back down. Maybe possibly get a lower low than we had right there before we can possibly go higher. The longer this screws around here, the more likely it is we're going to just go dipping down and make a move down in the low 50s, probably back below that right there. We'll see. Nothing clear on oil at the moment. The beautiful setup we had just kind of muddied up, and it hasn't really gone lower, hadn't really gone higher. So indecision. Indecision. Well, gold. Let's pop down to a lower time frame, see what we got cooking. Initial move down, retrace. So if there is the possibility that this goes and makes one more little high, it's possible, but right now we are sitting in that retrace zone. That's a potential 1, 2. What comes next? Just like the Russell, wave 3. It's usually the strongest, fastest, most profitable if you're in the right position. How you take advantage of it? Buy some GLL shares. I mean, you could trade GLD options if you wanted to. You can do whatever you want to. I like the shares because they're not going to lose much money if this just farts around for a little while. But if this takes a big down, should print. Should print nicely. BTC USD. Still working on. So at this point, that looks like a first move down, a retrace, and we're potentially about. And funny enough, this is lining up on every chart I look at. We're about to do potential another move down. If this does, at the minimum 105, but looking like we might get something spicier, and then a little continuation. We'll see. Ethereum, a little bit different on the charts. Trying to break out, but getting slammed back down. ATHUSD with the spot markets. Hadn't really been able to go anywhere. Now, my fear here is this is a big one. Wave 1 down, wave 2 retrace, and wave 3 takes us down here. That's my fear. NKD. Remember what I said about this in looking like the nail chart? This actually could break down and go like this could get worse than just a retrace down here. This could take us all the way down here. That was what we did back in August. Nobody was talking about this one. Everybody's talking about the tariffs, but this corresponded with that big drop in the market we just got. What would this do to us right here? So the carry trade blown out. Supposedly was the big down in July, August last year. Trump tariffs was supposedly this, right? But NKD right here gotta move down, lower low. Very interesting. So if we broke down, we came back tested the uptrend of lows. That kind of, it's not a very tight uptrend of lows, but you know, where do you put it? You know, where does it look best? Maybe that was it. You know, we broke down, back test, flushed, popped up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like trend lines are the hardest. Like that's the least reliable form of technical analysis. So dollar. Well, it tried to reverse and now flushing back down. Nothing clear here. It did turn, like, funny enough, it did turn down right at that resistance I talked about yesterday. Might get a flush right down here. In the coming days. Let's look at the Mag 7 stuff. Apple. Not really doing a whole lot. Choppy, choppy, choppy. 3 tops, 3 bottoms. Unclear. Price action. And bounce up, bounce down, bounce up, bounce down, bounce up, bounce down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we could continue this for a little bit. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could do that until we figure out what we're doing next. Unclear. Now, bigger picture, it has a move down, has a retrace, may potentially pop up here, and then get the next move down. We see that on Apple. We see it on Amazon. First move down, retrace, potential to move down again. We see it on Google. First move down, retrace, potential to move down again. See it on Meta. First move down, retrace, potential to move down again. Microsoft, the one that's different. We already got that pattern. First move down, retrace, and next move down. This one potentially going to go on up to 49. And NVIDIA kind of on its own path, but if it can't stick this right here, if it gives that back, first move down, deep retrace, next move down. Critical on NVIDIA right now. If we don't stick that, we're coming on down. You may be like, well, see, these are the same size. Coming on down. That target I've been talking about for a while. Tesla, unfortunately, also has the same exact pattern. Need to fix that arrow. First move down, retrace, potential to come back down. June 12th is the day that Cybercab, you know, they announced this yesterday. Well, kind of announced, they leaked it yesterday or whatever, you know, whatever the news story is. Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal, whatever, talking about it. June 12th is the day, so should go public with the Cybercab thing. So we got 2 weeks. Yesterday, they put cars on the road for the first time in the trial. So we got 2 weeks. See if this hammers out, and then should open up to the public. Should be interesting. Now I go pull everything moving $2 or more up, put it on the gainers list. Everything moving $2 or more down, and put it on the decliners list. And we look for opportunities. That one hit the target. Dang. Beautiful. Beautiful upside there. I just realized my roadmap line wouldn't even turn on. I can see the roadmap line without it being on the chart. So funny enough. Burlington stores. Well, I didn't do the breakout like I thought back there. We just keep hitting our head on the resistance. Still has potential to go on up, but right now, just sideways consolidation. Elf Beauty, wow, coming back pretty strong there. They announced they were buying out somebody. Let's see, Road mergers, acquisitions. I think it was Justin Bieber's wife brand or something like that. I don't know. It got really convoluted really quick as far as who's what they were buying. Road acquisition. Yeah. It was Justin Bieber's wife. I think that's who that was. Anyway, I don't know. That's potential 5 down, a retrace. We may see resistance right in here. Right where we are. Let's just clean this up. All right, let's just clean it up. We'll clean it up. Remove it all. Potential, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, without an overlap, and 5. Potentially, that's an A wave. This one big swift move. B wave could go a little deeper, up to about 160. Be very, very cautious here. First move down, retrace. Next move down. Same kind of pattern. It could go from right where we are. It could go from up here. This one owes me money, but I'm not going to chase it right now. Going to wait on that. S&PS. There's a 1, 2, 3 into resistance or into support. Got the high, we got the low. And if we can break back up through this consolidation here, could see that rally on up to 680. VGT, it looks like we might go on up to 682. ASML. Yeah, this is what I outlined yesterday was just more of this chop would be what I expect before we can get on out of here. App loving. Very cautious. Very cautious here. Yeah, first move down situation. But if we can get above, we can definitively break above that prior set of resistance there. We could probably take it on up to 602 area. But if we reject off of that, potentially coming down here. App loving. FUTU still has the potential to go up to 239. Restoration Hardware still chopping in here. Roadmap line up here around 270. QQQ we already covered with NQ. AVGO potential to pop one up. 274. Might experience a retrace before we do that. CDNS just chopping sideways, not clear. SMH back in this consolidation zone. Are we done on the downside, or might we take another? You know, this looks like we're just consolidating. MSTR looks like we're going to hit the roadmap line again. Good, bad, or ugly looks like we're coming down. That's where where it looks like we're going. Right there. And TRA, working on the next leg higher. That move. Potential 191. PRT. Be careful, that could be the first move down, retrace. First move down, next move down, like that. CG. 393 potential. A dumpster fire. Dumpster fire, be careful. It's probably going towards 0. And don't trade those. MDB. I'm not sure we're done on the downside here. Resistance at the 220 area. Support down here at 100. Camtech. It's a downtrend. Resistance at the roadmap line. USD. We're just getting into that resistance, similar to SOXL or whatever it was. USD or SMH. Yeah. ALAB. Resistance here. Looks a lot like all those Mag 7s. First. Like that. Coinbase. If crypto continues being weak, we may see this retrace back down somewhere in that zone. Toyota Motors. Well, a head and shoulder. What do I think of a head and shoulders pattern? It's a Elliott wave reversal pattern when it shows up in the right proportions. So, you know, like, check this out. When you have a so usually this would be like a wave 3, a wave 4, a wave 5, wave 1, a wave 2, and then you get that continuation right there, wave 3. So this looks like this right here. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then you potentially get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, you know, when they show up in the right proportion like that, it can even be, you know, flipped around slightly. But that's an Elliott wave reversal. And you get the same thing on the upside too, like when you, so that's where those come from. So yeah, potential head and shoulders showing up right there, but this doesn't look like that, quite like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks more like A, B, C, 1, 2. You know, that move right there, it's a little different than what I said a minute ago. It looks more like this is in A, B, C, and then this is potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And potential for that right there, but the proportions aren't quite right. So that's, you know, even though I draw it on here, it's not really like we didn't hit the ideal levels where that would be a 3. So this might just be a corrective move up, and we just make a lower low or lower high. This might just be an ABC up of a more complicated corrective pattern, and that's where you really get in the weeds of Elliott wave stuff like that. The proportions not being right, so we may just see an ABC, ABC down, ABC up, and this be part of an A, a B, and a bigger C that goes down. You're more like that move was an A, that move was a B, and that move, then we go lower. So that more like on Toyota, this would be more like what I would expect. Like that. Something like that. And I can just, after doing this for years, I can just kind of see where I think the counts are and see where the roadmap line is and see, like, I have this, yeah, it's like Goose says, it's like me staring at the Matrix, in the movie The Matrix, where he's like, oh, I just see blonde, brunette, redhead. Yeah, I just see, A waves, B waves, C waves. I can see the roadmap line without it being on the chart. I can just tell where about where it is. I can, tell where the support resistance is. I can tell what a 618 looks like without it. It's back to that. For a long time, I thought I needed more stuff on the charts, and at that point where all of a sudden you gain clarity, less stuff on the chart actually is beneficial because you can just sit there and be like, oh, I kind of see where that is, but then you have to do a couple of things and just verify. But it's kind of the way it goes. So Lulu resistance at the roadmap line, unclear. If we can break above this over here, we've got the bigger potential to go up to this area, 600. But if we break down, there's also the potential to go down here to like 150. ARM is chopping around, being unclear. Potential 3-wave done, but is this an A wave, a B wave, and we get the C wave down bigger? Now IPOs start out corrective, and we're getting a lot of corrective action here, so unclear. XLK might be able to push up to 254. Core weave. Eventually this is going to quit being crazy and come back to earth a little bit. Be careful. C3AI, more of that choppy, stuck in a rut. Reddit. Yeah, kind of, short term, we saw a large trade go through last week, and I kind of expect this to pop up in here. I may book out that trade I put on for Termar Trading Lab as a test on that one. And VST, sit here at the resistance. Is that the, same pattern we see across a lot of the Mag 7s, almost all the Magnus 7s. Same potential pattern. NTES might be on the run to that 150 area up there. TECL, unclear. TIL, dangerous chart. Reverse split, dumpster fire, be careful. Just be careful. Marvell, resistance up here at 76. Could take another trip down. COHR, first move down, retrace. Same pattern as Mag 7s. Give me pause here. Be cautious. Anytime I see that pattern, cautious. Like that's caution is advised. QLD, same pattern. TQQQ, same pattern. TSM, same pattern. CRDO, same pattern. And that's what scares me is like you see the same pattern over and over and over and over. Another dumpster fire. Reverse split. AMD. This is trying to build something bullish here. One move up, retrace, move up. Looks like we're working on a wave 4. Wave 4 would be probably a 382 retrace at this move. And settings. And so looking for this to find a little, back test the trend line. So this will move down, retrace, may do something right in there before we go higher. Big picture, we hit that target. So now we're hunting for a reversal off of here. If we can get that 5 up and a 3-wave retrace that holds back in here, I'll be looking for something probably bigger, longer term on AMD. So we may do this and then retrace back down in here, same vicinity, and then set up something right there. Sezzle at the target. Watch out. Might retrace. AMAT struggling at this roadmap line. Shopify struggling here. That might have the first move down, retrace, second move down, pattern. I am bullish on Shopify, but these patterns scare me. ANF. Ooh. Rejection off that roadmap line. Look at that. That's why I always talk about this. Like, be careful until they get above it. That's indicating we may go lower low here. Came up shy of the target. That was a big head and shoulder. That was like a shoulder, head, shoulder, 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 shoulder. Broke down. Still got a little lower to go. So that was a 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on ANF, if this completes a lower low here, highly likely this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somewhere in here, do a 1, 2, 3. And then we do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to a lower low again. Below this low. Party might be over for a little while on that one. Oracle, same pattern. Eerie. First move down. Not predicting time, just size of the next potential move. TXN. Google Live Nation. Coming back to the roadmap line. That's actually that high, that low. Potential for this to go up to 165 after the bounce. CRM, potential to come on down here. Bounce off of that, come up to 440. Sentinel 1, potential to come on down. Ain't it? Yeah, be careful. That one also. Let's just remove all this. Simplify. First move down. Second move down. I like that. BROG. Pass. HPQ. Ouch. NTLA. Rough. Rough. That's bearish. First move down, retrace. Working on finishing up that next move down, 45 downside. Might be the finishing move for Best Buy here. TATT, back to the roadmap line. That's the list. So expectation for the day, very cautious here. We're probably going to take that overnight pop back. That's what that looks like to me. Probably going to take it back. We bounced off the 30-minute, came up, hold resistance, probably going to come back down. So if we turn sour grapes here, be careful. See, look at that, that 30-minute holding, holding, holding. If it folds, got the 1 hour, holding, holding, holding. If it folds, we got the 4 hour, held, held. We get below it, probably going down to the daily roadmap line, which is not far away at this point. Right down here, 57.30, be a lower low. And we may get another bounce before we take the bigger trip down. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. We'll look at PCE coming out tomorrow. Personal consumer expenditures. Have a great day.